Hmm. Continue.
Okay, we're good to go.
Yeah, just organic.
Okay, well, let's roll this thing. Sorry, guys, that we
Yeah,
got started so late.
yeah, Dino. So I'm honored to have you on. Every time we get on a call, uh, man, it seems like we can talk for hours, and it's funny because like whenever someone starts talking like business, I say, "Oh, you're talking dirty to me now." So I get excited, right? And I'm pretty sure you're the same way. And it all starts, dude, because I mean, once you get on the path to personal development, it's like a rabbit hole because it's like it never stops. And go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. You know, starting my business in a barn in '87
Yeah,
and fixing cars in high school. You just think that that's the good life. Like you don't have to work for anybody, you don't have
yeah,
to answer to anybody, and then all of a sudden you got to start paying bills. And holy
yeah,
shit,
exactly. And,
and
and
then
so
pay,
and so
and then payroll. Yep.
yeah, so part of the program, we just like to share with guys, and most of the guys that watch our channel, they're technicians or they're shop owners that might have took over their family business. And so basically, where the mindset is saying, okay, how do you go from technician to manager to owner to figuring out an exit strategy, right? And so I know you wanted to talk a little bit about building the team, and I think you know and you could probably agree with me on this, is like whenever we first started, we had this attitude like, oh, we're gonna do it all ourselves, we're gonna pay cash, nothing's gonna stand in my way.
Yep. Yep. You betcha.
and
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 yeah, and then the time just gets away from you, and you find yourself working on Sundays because you got to get cars done,
yeah,
and you got to pay rent, and you got to pay PG&E, and you got to pay your insurance. So you start hustling, and I started. Luckily, I was young, so I had lots of energy. When I was in my 20s. Um, but if we're talking about encouraging new shop owners to become owners, there's a lot of things that you think but there's a lot of things you actually don't know.
yeah,
And it's scary to think now that I opened my doors and I had no training on marketing. Like,
yeah,
let's just talk about the basic stuff, right? And I thought, oh, I'll just put a newspaper ad and I'll let them tell me how to print the ad. Well, they're just salespeople. They don't know marketing.
yeah,
So the ads were wrong, even though they did work a little bit, but they were expensive. And this is back before social media. So I didn't have social media
yeah,
to promote on.
yeah.
And
Sorry to interrupt you. To what so looking back, let's just say, if you, this is put yourself in this situation, right? You're a shop owner, you just opened your doors, you're maybe a year and a half, 2 years in the industry, and you keep asking yourself, man, how do I market to get more work? How do I keep people calling me? What are some practical strategies you suggest?
well, any and all, there's no
Okay.
wrong marketing. The only wrong marketing is no marketing. I'm going to
Mm,
say that straight up.
yeah.
And we live in a different environment than I grew up in. And with social media, it's absolutely free to promote yourself. And I don't care how you post, what you post, when you post. It's just about promoting a lot. So if you follow some examples, if you go online and look who's posting, count their posts, and then how well do you know them? Well, if they're really professional, believe it or not, they're going to have multiple pages. And they're going to be posting at least 15 to 30 times a day,
Yeah.
um, and that's on Meta and business to business. So LinkedIn, you want to get on there and you want to start communicating to anybody that has a business in your area. That's a good portal. You also want to go knock on doors. We had a whole program. We had a girl that worked part-time, and she would go deliver cookies to all of the businesses in my town. And they were cute little boxes we had created. And we got some cookies from Safeway, freshly baked, every time she would go out. And we had 25 stops. That's probably, and when I was doing it myself, I could only spend a couple hours because I had to get back to work.
Yeah.
And I decided to hire someone, and that took a massive load off of me. And we didn't care about ROI. There was no ROI. All I cared about was top line. Like what could I increase my gross revenue to? And the biggest companies out there, like let's use Red Bull as an example. What do you think they spend on marketing? Just give me a percentage.
Maybe 50%.
Pretty close, 30. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
in the B's, it's in the billions. And
Wow.
everyone knows them, right? Everyone knows Red Bull, right?
Mm.
So promotion is everything. So I don't care what you do. It could be postcards. It could be every door direct mail where you pick a zip code.
Yeah.
That's what we do in the studio. And we do a postcard 3 times in a row because someone has to see it at least 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's expensive. It really is.
Yeah. So I know right now you mentioned studio, and this is why I wanted to have you on, is because, a lot of times people say, well, this guy's telling me what to do, but like what gives him the right to tell me what to do, right? And so
37 years of owning 2 body shops.
37 years, 2 body shops, and you just exited one of your body shops and you sold it for a couple million.
Yep.
And so you saw the road from start to finish, and you're like, man, if I would have just asked questions earlier, like imagine.
The first 17 years was painful. I was working 6 days a week. I had 2 young boys that were 2 and 5, and I didn't have weekends I can't spend them on the weekends, but that was my only vacation. And an extended, like 3-day weekend. I'd sometimes take Friday early afternoon off, and then get in the camper and go motorcycle riding somewhere, go camping somewhere. But I never took a week off in a row. Monday through Friday, you crazy? There's no way.
Yeah. So what?
That's
what
a journey, because you think you can't afford it, but you can't not afford to have staff. That's why that's why I wanted to bring up staff.
Yeah.
Because,
so
right?
okay. So let's just say again, the shop owner, maybe 2 or 3 years in the industry, and they're like, man, I need to hire help. I need to hire. You hear a lot of now, the common thing for all shop owners to say is, man, there's no good workers. There's no good workers. But what mindset do you have to develop to find help?
I think you hit it right there, Stan. Mindset.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to pull in what you're going to pull in. So if your attitude is you're never going to find any good help, guess what? Even when you're wrong, you're going to be right. And you're not going to get good help. So you have to make an adjustment. Here's the thing. When we were looking for someone, I was only looking for one person. Now, granted, my pool of employees in my little town, Sonoma, with 27,000 people was a very small pool.
Yeah.
And 80% of them were retirees, and I'm not hiring retirees. So most of my staff had to drive from out of town. So I had to pay more.
Wow.
I had to pay more. But it took a long time to hire the team that I left when I left. And it took a lot of coaching and training on how to hire the right person. And then what do you do? What questions do you ask during the interview process? And technicians are different from front office. Technicians, I typically had them work for 1 day to see how they got along with everyone else, because I'm adding a team member. The rest of the team has a say in who I hire. Like, do you like this guy? Yeah, he hustled. This guy's great. Awesome. Let me have a conversation with them, and then we'll go the rest of the way. And I always do a 90-day plan. So
90-day probation. So what would again, the guy that just got into the body shop industry 2 or 3 years, he's wearing all the hats. What positions do you think he should hire for first?
Well, when you say he's wearing all the hats, I'll go from my experience. The first
I saw you laugh when I said that, because you knew exactly what I meant.
I lived the pain, bro. Started my business in a barn and then built it to 3 million in gross sales in a small town.
Yeah.
We closed 27 body shops that were around me that all went out of business, and I just kept growing. And it was good attitude, good quality work. All my guys were paid hourly. There was no bonuses other than the occasional pizza on a Friday. We'd barbecue sometime. But the first person you want to hire is you want to get off the floor. You want to hire technicians. You want to hire a painter. You got to hire a painter. I'd probably be the first one, because you can't be in the middle of a paint job and give an estimate. And I did it, dude. Trust me, I did it. Hey, can you hold on a second? I got to go put another coat on.
Yeah.
And so that I would hire a painter, and then I'd hire a body tech. And even in between the body tech, you could hire a helper, guy that could wash cars and maybe train how to do light duty disassembly. So you can start out with your payroll being less, but you got to have money to spend, because reality it'll take you a long time to expand at that rate.
Yeah.
So the faster you can get staff and get into the front office only, then you're rocking. Then you can start to maybe do some promotion, spend a little bit of money in that, and just do a ton of ads, promotional stuff on social media, a lot of video, because who doesn't watch reels, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It could be delivering a car to a customer. It could be a before and after shot of your repairs. And it should be constant. And all your employees should be posting on their pages as well, that they have this great job, they have a great boss, and the shop needs to be clean, organized, to basically have a good backdrop. If you have a dirty shop that's got a lot of clutter, it doesn't look good on the video. So I love it. I love the before and afters, and they just do a snapshot and they'll just show that as a reel, a before and then an after. People love that. Like, that speaks volumes. Like, man, look at that wreck. Now look at the car.
Yeah, just constantly being out there and just making some kind of noise, letting them know that you're
a lot of noise.
So what skills would you say the manager what skills do they have to acquire? Like what do you suggest? Because see, a lot of times they don't realize that in order to transition from the technician to the manager to the owner, like, it's basically just learning those skills. Yeah, learning those skills. So what would be some like basic skills to say, hey, you know what? Take some time and just learn these skills. That way you can start to build out your team.
So I hear this all the time. The top executives in this country that make, a lot of money, they read about 60 books a year. So that's my first thing. I would encourage you to get every goddamn book you can, and either audio, or if you like to read, then that's great. I always have at least 4 that I'm just in the middle of, or I started and I'm going back through it again. Like Grant Cardone has a lot of really good books on sales skills, a lot. He also talks about marketing, and he's the master of social media. Even though he says he's not, he's still pretty goddamn good. He's got 7 pages, and I think he posts like at least 40 times a day. And it doesn't cost him any money to do the organic stuff. You can do paid ads and stuff like that, but in the beginning, you just want to do organic, especially if you're in a town that you have friends. You want to go in the grocery store, you want to shake hands, you want to get people following you on your page, because then once they start following you, you can start posting stuff. Everyone else will start following you, and that's as cheap as you can get with promotion. So I think reading books is probably the least expensive way to go. You also can, there's a lot of classes out there. Your paint company, reach out to them. They have classes that they're always having that you can go to. I was a franchise after 26 years of being on my own. I became a car star. People like, oh, franchise, you got to pay a bunch of money. Like, I really didn't have to pay a bunch of money. I actually got rebates that basically covered the marketing fee I was paying them. Plus, I felt like I got a big brother. You know how you go in the schoolyard and you're always getting picked on? And it's the insurance companies picking on you, right? When I signed that contract, I actually, that night I went home and I got a little emotional, because I was like, man, if I ever get into trouble, or if I ever have trouble and I want to get some help, I didn't have anybody to call. I could call another shop owner, but I didn't have anybody to call. I just pick up the phone, or I would email my coach and say, what do I do? And then he'd say, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And then let's say the insurance company didn't want to pay me the procedure to fix the quarter panel correctly, and they're trying to make me use the used quarter panel. Oh, no. We don't do that. So for the first time in probably 27 years, I actually had a big brother that looked out for me.
Oh, wow.
Right. So a lot of people have some negative things to say about franchises, but that's my positive. We get massive paint discounts, which covers the fees. They did help us with Tesla certification. That was massive. We were right in front in the line because they already had the relationship with Tesla. And so OEMs, that's the route you want to go if you can get one. I encourage people to do that, because you can then work a relationship with the dealership, and then you work that relationship where you can actually have them send you work because you're OE certified.
Yeah, for that brand. So let's just say, how would you suggest someone go about like looking for help, right? So once again, it's a shop. It's a guy that just recently took over his parents' shop, or he's just starting out. He quit his job at the big dealership for 15 years. He's like, I'm gonna go full force. Now he's in a position where I need to hire some help. How should he where should he go, or how should he start to like put the word out that he's looking for help?
What's funny is I posted stuff on my page because if people start to know you, and if you have a page that's well known, you can
Yeah.
just put I'm hiring.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest. I I like Indeed because the guys that are on there are serious. They're not. Craigslist is not serious. Sorry, Craigslist is
Yeah.
not serious. But I would at least start with word of mouth.
Word
So
word of mouth, Indeed, um,
yeah,
Facebook.
Indeed costs money, but Facebook is cheap. Again, you
Yeah.
just promote it, and you just never know who's actually on the page going, man, you know what? I would love to be trained to be an estimator. I
Yeah.
mean, I've trained every position in my shop. I
Yeah.
was not great at doing body work, and I was not a good painter. I had to hire a body guy and a painter really fast because, man, I was not good.
One of the main reasons why we started the certified elite and just sharing content like this is because I think that think about it, a technician, they're very hands-on and they're very action oriented. They're problem solvers, right? And so they're just like, I need to like men also are like, don't tell me like the steps to do it. Just tell me exactly what I need to get done. You know what I mean? Right? I mean, technicians operate like that. I don't want to read the instructions. Just let me start to get it, right? And so that's why I tell technicians, I was like, man, if you can find someone to coach you to that next level, like hook onto them because they're gonna hold you accountable. And so I
Yeah,
know that and accountability is a big deal because whenever I was introduced to my first coach, I was like, why do I need a business coach, or why does anybody need to help me with this business? But what it did, it has held you accountable, and then it helped you like get the answer to the problem that you're dealing with. You know,
yeah.
I know we say read 60 books a year, but when you say that to a technician, they're like, I haven't read. Like they're like, I don't want to read books, and it gets like it gets like it almost kind of creates some kind of uneasy feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of foreign talk to
that
them.
that's why I said listen. The audio side,
Yeah,
um, I couldn't read when I graduated high school. I think fourth grade was my highest level. My IQ was like 86.
yeah,
Um,
wow,
so I had to self improve myself. At some point, I'm like, oh my god, we're doing 1.5 million, and I needed to learn how to read better. So I got help, and I did a bunch of self improvement stuff. And now it's like I gobble up books
yeah,
um, because I need to be smarter. When you start handling more money, it can go through your fingertips really fast if you don't. Just
yeah.
the finance side of it, I couldn't even read a P&L in the beginning. I couldn't. I didn't put I was looking at like, and I didn't care what's in the
Yeah,
checkbook. What do I have in my pocket right now?
yeah,
That's really what it was about. You weren't thinking. You're not thinking of a year, 2 years, 3 years. You're not thinking of like, what are you going to build? Do you want
yeah,
to build this to something where you can actually have it run itself? Um, because that's the next level is you get it started, you start promoting and you start hiring staff, and you're going to you're going to hire the wrong people. That's just going to happen.
yeah,
um, but you just got to go for it, and there is no wrong marketing, and there is no wrong hire other than not hiring,
yeah. You're
right?
right.
So,
Yeah,
the thing is you want to hire slow and you want to fire fast.
yeah. Well, so uh, another thing too, like whenever someone says, "Man, I need to hire someone, but I don't really know what to tell them to do," you know, what would you suggest on giving them like a new hire? You kind of have some kind of layout of what their job title is, or what kind of expectations are, you know, and
Well,
that go ahead. I'm sorry.
before you hire, you want to write up what you want them to do,
Yeah,
and just get a Word document or get a piece of scratch paper. I can't, dude. I still can't spell great, so I'd rather use Word because it tells me, hey, you got a misspelled word. Hey, there's supposed to be
yeah,
punctuation there.
yeah,
And I'd rather use Word and it just corrects my spelling, and then just write up what I would want them to do. Let's just say I'm going to hire a painter. You know what? Your paint company has an entire SOP. Hey, can I get your guys' SOP? They give it to you for free.
Yeah.
There you go.
And SOP is you tell them what SOP is.
Shop operating process or procedure.
Yeah. And so it's a booklet. You can get it from your paint store. They give them to you free.
Yep.
They're it's gonna be from Sickens, DuPont, Axel Noble, like
Yep.
the paint company, PPG. Everybody has it, and it's just something that you can give the guys and say, "Hey, just these are kind of that process and
There's also going to be your standards, right? Like what
Yeah.
kind of work do you want to put out? You want to put out great work? You want to put out crap? You know, the guy that's doing that spot work in the parking lot, that's not no. And that doesn't pay. That's not going to, you're not going to be able to expand that and grow that because reputation is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
You know, you build a great reputation of quality work done on time, then you're just going to, you're just going to feed the monster. It's just going to be more people wanting to fix their car at your,
Yeah.
right? Quality is everything.
And so I know you wanted to talk a little bit about once you hire them, how often should you kind of maybe go over like some training or I mean it might not even really be training. So like let's just say like once again it's a new shop owner. They don't really have a system, they don't really have a process, but they know they want to put out quality work.
So iCar is a really good source for all your technician training because
Yeah.
I know it's kind of somewhat watered down sometimes, but it's something. And I got my shop iCar Gold in '94, and
Okay.
I didn't know how to match color, bro. No one ever taught me how to match color. But my
Yeah.
instructor, Kurt Money, dude's just a beast. And he really broke it down, simplicity for me. And I was able to go back and start matching color with science, not
Yeah.
just guesswork.
Hey, so this is I wanted to add this to that, and this is kind of something that we've done. Is like what I've done is I've also like let's say we're gonna hire a helper, right? And he's gonna help prep and tape or whatever, right? What I'll usually do is I'll go to YouTube and I'll get videos from like 3M.
There you go. Yeah.
And so you can actually create a playlist.
Yep.
Say, hey, watch these videos. And it kind of so a lot of times you don't have to develop the training process.
Yep.
You can find those videos, yeah, and you could create a playlist, title it, your shop, whatever. And it's just something to get them started. That way they understand, the kind of the language of a prepper.
Yep. And then the painter can just show them this is how he wants it done because every painter is going to be a little different.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
Stuff done. This is how I want it done. Let me show you real quick. And it really, that's another level, but you're just originally going to hire a painter and he should know how to paint, right? You're not teaching him how to color match. You're not teaching him how to mask. He should know all those skills, but you want to have some standards in your shop. And it should be a written one page. Like, what are your standards? I want quality. And I don't want runs. I don't want bad color. You know what I mean? The simple stuff needs to be written down. This is our standard. Can you deliver that? Right? Because there are a lot of shops out there, especially the consolidators, that don't care. They just don't care. The employees are numbers and the customers are numbers as well. And the quality is only like, if we can get 9.2, we're great. We're doing great. 9.2 on quality. That's terrible, dude. If we're not 100%, then we did something wrong.
Yeah.
I prided myself on doing doing it, even when we didn't get paid to do it right. We still did it right.
Yeah.
Pays dividends.
Yeah. So that's going to be, and those are some of the things they can do that's kind of like low cost, especially if they're just starting out. They're like, man, I need to get this thing going. But so you would suggest, let's kind of recap, just putting the word out there through social media, maybe use Indeed if you want to go that route to hire some kind of help. Make sure that you have some standards. Make sure you say, hey, this is how we roll here. This is what we expect. And you can make the standards whatever you want. Like,
correct.
No texting, no earpods, no smoking, no vaping. Like, you might as well just put it up front.
Right there.
That way, if something comes up, you're not having to confront them later on down the road whenever they are vaping in the shop or whatever. Just put your standards out clear and says, hey, this is how we roll around here.
These are these are lunch, right?
Yeah, and if they agree to it, they agree. And then, like you said, make them sign a 90-day, a 90-day that you're gonna do a 90-day evaluation. At any time, you can terminate them, or you can ask them to leave whenever whenever you want without any explanation.
Yeah, because you build the playbook. Darren Higgins is a good friend of mine. He runs Warren Buffett's 32 body shops. They did 250 million last year in gross sales out of 32 body shops. Now, heavy OE certified because they're all owned by a dealership. So they're getting Toyotas, they're getting Hondas, they're getting Nissan, they're getting all the gravy work, right? So they turn some massive numbers. He calls it a playbook. He's from Texas. That's where the bulk of their shops are at. And he's a massive football fan. And I don't care what you call your manual. You just got to have things in writing on what you want and like write things that are not approved. Like safety is important. I'm coaching some 3 brothers out of New York, and they do electrical contracting. You think safety is important when you're dealing with electricity? Hell yeah. So that was the first thing they didn't have any manuals. So if you're getting a payroll service, which I would recommend, like ADP or Paychecks, they actually have HR stuff they can give you. So you can get a lot of your manual already done from these other companies. Your paint company, your payroll company, and Google has a lot of stuff. So that's a good start, and you want to start building that before you start hiring a ton of people, because you got to get pay agreements. You want them to sign a document saying they received their paycheck and they agreed to the hours and they took their breaks. I had a shop owner that got just taken for like $6,000 because she was there for 90 days and she said that she didn't get her breaks. So we had our techs always sign a piece of paper that said, you took your breaks? Yep. And did the hours look good? Yep. Just sign right here. Very simple.
Yeah.
It puts reasonable doubt. So if you ever got to go to court, here's the documents. Here's my document. Here's my thing that they signed saying they took their breaks and the hours were correct.
Wow. So you there? I think we lost him. So guys, we're gonna continue next week, and if y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comment. I will have Dino back. Like I said, he just exited one of his companies. Like he sold one of his shops. He actually sold it to Caliber, and so he actually got into another industry. So he knows a lot about what these obstacles that we're gonna come into, and part of the certified elite is just reaching out and helping you guys overcome those obstacles. And if you're interested in having someone keeping you accountable, or you're saying, hey Stan, I want to grow a lot faster, or how can I get on the team, or how can I get on the program, reach out to us and we'll connect you. But like I said, we're going to be sharing a lot more stuff here. I would really prefer if y'all guys would drop some questions in the comment, you know what I mean, or on the chat. That way we can address specific issues that you are dealing with at your current company. So hey guys, till next week, Certified Elite, we do have a special project that we're working on. It's going to be a lot of information on the repair process, stuff like that. You got cut off, Dino, or what?
My phone died.
Oh, no problem. Hey, I told them I told them that we're gonna see if we can do something next week with you again.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we'll keep kind of a series going. And like I said, I told the guys also, if there's anybody that wants to get further coaching or some kind of training, to reach out to us.
Yeah,
and we'll get them connected. I know you're out in California,
but they can call me anytime. I like helping guys, especially when they're starting out. I have a half a dozen. I think I have 13 clients, and I'm just helping.
Yeah. And we're gonna continue doing these, and we'll definitely reach out, Dino. And if you need anything, brother, give me a call. All right.
Cool.